and welcome back everybody to the Double D's live podcast. I don't know about you guys, but the weeks are just flying by. They really are. I am going to invite. So coming up on tonight's, I'm just waiting for Mer to join here, sorry. Coming up on tonight's podcast, we have, obviously, we'll share our drinks, as per usual. And then we will get into catching up with our weeks. One of the topics that Mer wants to discuss is, are you an equestrian if you don't ride? Then we were asked an audience question, which we will answer. What we did was today we put up a question box and invited people to ask us questions, and if we answer one on the podcast live, then you get sent out a goodie bag. So whoever is responsible for this question, I'd have to go back and check, but whoever is responsible for this question, I will be getting in touch and getting their address and sending them out a goodie bag. And this is something that we kind of want to do, not every week, but every couple of weeks, or once a month maybe, or something like that. That would be what I would be suggesting. Now, Mer also has sayings. She wants to talk about sayings. And I'm assuming that this is sayings that we say either to our animals or in general, or specifically to our horses during training. And I think everybody knows the innuendos that goes on with horses and training. So that will be an interesting one for sure. We're going to try and keep it clean. And then as usual, we get on to our rights and wrongs of the week. So I'm just going to see if Mer is in here now. I do have the time right, I think. No, I don't see her. She must be having some tech issues. Not like her at all. The other thing that we do want to discuss is that tomorrow is the start of Baby Loss Awareness Week, and it is a very, very important topic that we want to just ensure that people know about and are perhaps aware of what they can do to maybe show their support and their alliance to it, basically. So you'll see a little bit of that. You'll see an article coming out in the morning, and then you will also see a few posts going up on our socials and stuff like that. So look, just have a read of it, and we just want to extend our support for those who are in that position, unfortunately, and just let them all know that we're thinking of them. And it's a very, very tough time for everybody involved, but that they are not alone. That's probably the main message that we want to get across. So I'm just going to see if Mer is around again. She must be having some tech issues. Okay, she's in there now. Thanks for leaving me hanging, Mer. Say she went off to get her drink. What are the bets? Definitely.
Yeah.
It was probably the quickest we got you in fairness, when it actually started.
It is, but now I can't see you.
You're
My tongue's
joking.
blank. That's okay. I'm gonna wing it there.
No, come on. No, I have to be able to see you, for God's sake.
Okay, hold on. I will. I'm gonna leave, and then I'm gonna come out of this, and then I'm gonna try and come back in. Hold on now.
Okay, great crack. Oh God, it's always eventful, if nothing else. If anyone does want to pop their questions in to the comment box below, as in actually live, we will make a note of the questions and we can add them to a list and then bring it up next week or the week after, aligning to what I spoke about there with the giveaway. So just because you maybe didn't get the question box earlier on, or you didn't tune in on this live stream, there is the opportunities to get involved again. Oh.
Nah, it's having none of me tonight, Sarah. Absolutely.
It really isn't.
Nah.
We'll go out and try again.
Nah, it would be grand. We'll go for it and see what happens.
Are you sure? Oh, God.
See if Muireann can read Sarah's voice.
Oh, my God. Like, I can see you perfectly, so assuming that this is just going to work on when we post it.
I know it does. It's done this a couple of times with me before. I have done a full live without being able to see the person, which was interesting.
That was an interview. That is hard.
Yeah, I don't know how people on the radio do it. I have to say, it was, yeah, they've not been able to read somebody's body language and their eye contact is very bizarre. But anyway, on a happier, well, first of all, my phone is a prick. But second of all, have you ever tried a Negroni?
A what now, sorry?
So I'm not usually influenced by weird TikTok things, right? But there's this like TikTok thing that comes up, like one of the sounds, and it's like, oh, she drinks a Negroni. So I was in today buying my alcohol, as I told you earlier, and there was this bottle of Negroni that I have no idea, far from Negroni I was reared. So I was like, right, let's try this. Now it's like it's 17.5%.
What's the alcohol?
17.5. And I poured a giant glass before I looked at the thing. So I might not finish it. And I also think I'm doing it wrong. I don't think you're supposed to have the orange peel in it. I think it's meant to be sitting on top. But it fell in and I wasn't sticking my fingers in it. So I Googled. They actually look, I actually thought it tasted nicer. Oh, no, I've lost it again. Jesus, nothing is going right now this evening, is it? No. It is equal parts gin, vermouth, and Campari. Campari. No?
Not a clue. Not a clue. And here is me here, and you can't see it because I actually made it really, really pretty. I'll hold it up so everyone else can see it. It's a pink gin, and I only went and put some fruit in it, didn't I?
Oh, really? That's actually right. I want to see the gin. Oh, this is bloody typical. Well, cheers, Sarah. Cheers. The weird Negroni stuff. Yeah, it is good.
Although, do you know, for all my notion, the fruit and berries that I put in are a little bit small. I'm afraid I'm going to choke on one.
Oh, I don't like that. No.
You don't want danger money. You don't want danger money.
Hold on now. We do have a mini visitor as well. Come here.
Oh.
Come here. I can't lift you, pet. So.
Oh, well, hello, Max. Oh, hello. Oh, his sweet face.
Oh, he is.
Hello, Max.
Coolest. Oh my God. Like, I actually
he's still with you, Mar.
He's with me until the end of the week.
Oh,
so his owners are gone back to Poland, and because Max is on the restricted breed list, he is no longer allowed into kennels. So he's coming to stay with us for a while instead. Yeah, no, he's lovely. He's very, very cool.
He's fitting right in, FYI.
Oh. Like, I actually said to Porrick last night or the night before, if they said to me, like, you know, they couldn't or there was hassle, I would have him in a heartbeat. Like, he is so cool. So cool. Hardest thing about minding him is he likes to sleep on you. Like, literally, he has to be on a body part. And he's really heavy.
Yeah, he's all there, like.
Other than that, no problem whatsoever. He is very, very cool. Now, he's raised in a house of kids and he's around animals and he's like, there is nothing here phases him. The first day he did look a little bit sideways at the peacocks, but he was very scared of them. Like, very.
I wouldn't expect otherwise. I'd be wondering if he didn't. Wondering if he was alive if he didn't.
There's not too many houses that you walk into that's full of peacocks, so I give him that one. But come here, how was your week? What was the crack? Exciting week?
My week was, so I realised why I couldn't remember what I was at the following week is because I tend to kind of just think about the weekend. But I actually have to remember to kind of take stock that were going Wednesday to Wednesday or Wednesday to Tuesday. The Wednesday last week was actually my birthday. And it was, yeah, I'm 37. I had to calculate that again because I was lost there for a while. And it absolutely makes me, and I realize this, I am now late 30s officially.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. I've been 37 for the last numerous years. I don't want to move on.
But I had a lovely day. I got 2 birthday cakes and a lovely. Actually, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you or are you one that likes to see or have a wreath on their front door?
Yes.
Because Emma, my friend and girl that helps me in the yard, she brought me over this absolutely, I should put a picture of it, an absolutely stunning silk flower wreath for the door. And it's pretty substantial size-wise, and it is real autumnal colours. And I just love it. Absolutely love it. And it's made locally by a girl here. Country Bloom wreath. I'll link it somewhere.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely stunning. And I love the fact that they were silk flowers that they're going to last year in, year out. You know what I mean? So you can nearly have one for every season. I was just like, I didn't know how much I loved them until I got one.
No, they're gorgeous. So myself, and I'm very lucky, I have like kind of the same set of friends from school. We've all stayed friends the whole way up along. But every Christmas we go to Evie's house and we all make wreaths. And I know that sounds really cheesy and corny, but like we have tea and wine and crisps and we talk shite and we make Christmas wreaths. And it's just the most wholesome, loveliest. I look forward to absolutely every year. I just
love that. And even just the tradition of it, and you just know it's your thing. I love that.
It's our thing, and every year there's more babies and more husbands and more people. You know, the crack. Like, I just love it. Absolutely love it now, I have to say. It's great fun. Now, my reads are a bit shite. Like, I try my best. I make the diligent effort, but like some of the girls, like Lisa's one, is always stunningly beautiful. But we're really lucky because the Arboretum is only down the road. The Arboretum in Carlow, obviously. And you can go in and they do like a mix and match of stuff that you can make all your own reads with. So you just get a big bag and you can fill the bag. So everybody brings something. And like, it's great. I love it.
I'm not super, like, I'm shocked. I'm not very creative. I'm like, give me the stuff and I'll tell you if I like it. You know what I mean? But I'm not. So you give me a blank canvas. As a page the other day asked me to draw a cow and I was like, I can't draw a cow. I was like, I'll give you the outline of a sheep. So I started with a cloud and I added a tail.
I love that.
I know. I'm like, keep it simple. Keep it really, really simple. But yeah, the rest of the week was quite quiet, I think. We had Saturday swimming, and it started. It's funny because obviously when I used to bring Paige swimming all the time, and then I was pregnant with Brie, and then when I had Brie, then John started bringing her, and so now that Brie has started, the two of us are going, and it's a great bit of crack, but it is. We kind of end up I end up starting with Brie and then John starts with Paige and then we end up kind of swapping halfway through. Brie is flat out. She's kicking like crazy, absolutely loves it. John even dunked her a few times and she was loving it. Paige never loved being dunked, so I didn't really do it. Okay. Like I found that part really, really hard to do. Yeah. And she didn't, and I think it was kind of the water getting into her ears. Anyway, but now I think because she's gotten a little bit confident, or I'm going to say cocky, she is wanting to be let go in the pool. And I'm like, I can't let you go. You're going to, like, because we're in the big pool. I was like, you're going to just sink. And she's insisting. So the other day, every opportunity I got, I dunked her. I was like, let's blow bubbles, dunk. I was like, you want to jump up in the air, dunk. I was like, you want to pop in like Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, dunk. And she absolutely loved it. She loved it. But the thing with it is, she's looking at the older kids going swimming, diving underneath the water. And she's just really, really loving it. So I was like, yeah, go, you go do it. So her kick has to get a bit stronger, but yeah, she's definitely on the way there confidence wise. But I was like, you are just, this is going to soften your cough now, little lady. And so,
But it's so
but we had an
important though,
absolute,
isn't it? Like
say it
that they're
again.
safe in the water. It's so important that they're safe in the water. They're confident
It's
around it.
my
It's so
one
important.
non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like I don't, and I say this now, and that's probably me up on my high horse, and I'm really not judging anybody when I say this, but I don't. I would rather not be the parent that's on the road every evening of the week going to this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a lot to be said for
Yeah.
like going out to the fields or coming down to the yard or, you know,
Yeah.
joining us in kind of our lifestyle, only because of the lifestyle that we lead.
Yeah.
It's an active lifestyle anyway. But I is one of the non-negotiables. They have to learn how to
Well,
swim.
we're
Um,
so like we're in such a privileged position because we can do that. Do you know, like even when Fionn comes in here and he's like, "Oh, mommy, I'm bored." I'm like, "No, you're not. There's 200 acres. Go find something to do. I don't
yeah.
care. Just go."
And that's it. Like it's a different lifestyle. Whereas
Yeah.
if like you were the 9 to 5 or you led a kind of a more like, you know, I'm gonna invert commas, normal lifestyle.
Yeah.
Then yeah, get them out of the house, get them doing bits and pieces, like, do you know what I mean, and just keep them active. But I think there's other ways that we can do that. But the swimming is a non-negotiable
I think
for me.
no,
But
just
yeah,
even
I
for
just thought
safety.
it is, it definitely is. And I'm not to blow my own trumpet here, but I'm actually quite a strong swimmer. Like myself and Davey would have been very, very strong swimmers growing up, and we would have
Love that.
competed for our country at whatever age group we were at.
Yeah.
But and it's something I always wanted to pass down, just make
Well,
sure that
of course. You slide in these
what with
things every
these
now and again.
shoulders, of course I was a swimmer.
But you're just nonchalant, like, oh, we competed for our country or whatever age group. Like, if that was me, I'd be like, hey, lads, guess what I did?
Well, we went like a part of a team. I mean, I don't even know the logistics of it. I just remember like we went over to England and we competed and we wore our Aer Lingus hats and we were very, very like fancy. It was it was pretty cool. But like, yeah, we used to be up before school like not every morning, but we used to yeah, we used to be up before school going swimming.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, we used to have to be in the pool by like 6, half 6 or something. It was a dedication. Yeah.
I'd say you were fit as a fiddle. What age group?
I remember doing it when I was definitely in secondary school. So I'd say I definitely swam up until I was about 12, I'd say. And then I started, because I got into the horses, I think we got a horse then at that stage. 11, 12 is when I got my first horse. Then, you know, I was heading up to the yard with my hair soaking wet. Mum and Dad were literally running me from pillar to post.
Yeah.
And I really only wanted to be in the yard. So it was like, okay, swimming, bye-bye. But I do love it. Like even when I was pregnant on Brie and I had like pelvic girdle pain, I went back to the pool, I went back to swimming, and I remembered how much I loved it. I remembered, and it was funny because the first few laps that I did, oh god, I thought I was going to die. I couldn't catch my breath. Because, you know, like swimming, you obviously have to breathe in a rhythm, and like being heavily pregnant as I was, like it was hard enough. But I swear, I was like, oh my god, like this is really hard. And then I just found my rhythm, and it was fine. I got it back, and I was actually like, I was decent still, but it was funny. I was like, oh my god, like they're actually going to have to haul me out of here. Oh god.
They're winched out of the swimming pool.
Yeah. Literally, yeah. Heavily pregnant idiot decided to go for a swim.
Whatever makes you happy, Sarah. That's what we're going with this week. Good boy.
Chrissy's in. She says, I live by the coast and I couldn't believe the amount of my mates who never learned to swim. Isn't that fascinating?
Like, I wonder, like, do you just take it for granted or something? Do you know, like, it would have been the same for us.
Okay, I don't think the sea is where you learn how to swim, in fairness. I don't think the sea is probably the ideal scenario. So maybe take the location out of it. It's more about, but then, yeah, you would still think that with proximity, you'd want to be extra careful. I don't know. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's mad. Like we were quite lucky. Like Mom and Dad would have started us swimming quite young, but then we went swimming with the school the whole way up along as well. So
I was just going to ask you, did the school do it too? Because ours did it, but it was a very short course. Like it was very. I only did it once, I'd say.
No, I I think we did it fourth, fifth, and sixth class, definitely. I know this Fion's primary school here in Collection, they did it the whole way up. Now it was optional and you could decide yourself if you wanted to do it or not. So Fionn did it for the first couple of years, and then when he kind of got hardy and was kind of going, like, working away himself, he did a few private lessons, and we just go into the pool in Great Cullen now. It's grand, actually, in fairness. It's only 5 minutes in the road from us. Like, it's handy. But no, I enjoyed it with the school now, I have to say. But
again, because I was going swimming outside of the school, I always did like it when we did it in the school, but I always remember it just being like for a term, and it certainly wasn't every year. It certainly wasn't every year.
I wonder if it's dependent on the school then. Do they get to decide themselves?
Oh, sure, it has to be. Sure, even subjects are even dependent on.
Yeah. Don't get
Let's not talk about the education system.
Take up the whole rest of the hour with a rant on that one now. Oh my God. My giddy
The two of us are like, oh, no. We're not going down that rabbit hole.
No, don't have the brain capacity for that.
Let's stay on safe ground. Let's talk about my sleep or lack thereof.
What? Like, how are you functioning, my dear?
I don't know. I'd say Brie is either teething or she's going through some sort of a growth spurt. I actually think she's probably going through a growth spurt.
Okay.
Well, she's probably teething, but she's doing a lot of whinging at me, which isn't like her. So I'm like, right, okay, there's something up with you, which is fine. But then the other night, and it's the second time she's done it, where she wakes up about 11. No, she starts waking up about 10:15, and she wakes up and gives a little moan and then goes back asleep again, and then she does it again and again and again. But what happens is, and I think I went to bed at like 9:30 that particular night because I was like obviously tired from the night before. Yeah. But she wakes up and gives a little moan, and I check her on the camera and she's fine. But then it's long enough between her cries that I'm almost asleep, and then she does it again and stops, and then she does it again and stops. Now John was in the kitchen, but it depends on the monitor. Like sometimes, and he's watching her obviously, and she is fine. But I'm upstairs. I'm above her, so I can hear her organically. I don't need the monitor. And I came down the stairs. I met him in the hall, and I was like, I'm being tortured. I was like, I'm gonna lose my mind. And he's like, I'll take her. So I was like, right. I went upstairs, closed the door, so that I wouldn't hear, and I still could anyway. But at about, I'd say it's about 11, half 11. And again, there was something wrong with John. Took her out, checked her, gave her an extra bit of milk, whatever, changed her bum. There was nothing wrong with her as such. But this went on anyway. I went down to her at about 11:30, and I just said, look, I'm up. Went down to her about 11:30, and she was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Not a bit of sleep on her. I was like, oh my God. So I said, here. I brought her down to the kitchen, and I just started as if it was a normal day. I just carried on as if it was a normal day. And then at about 2:00, probably about 1:30, 1:45, she got a little bit tired, and I was like, all right, let's get you to bed. So I went through our whole bedtime routine as if it was 7:00 in the evening, and put her back in. And the next thing, I put her back, and she always goes to sleep by herself, do you know what I mean? So I popped her down, and she just turned over, and I was sitting outside in the hall, and I could hear her singing, and I could hear her talking to herself, and there was chatter back and forth, and then she just dozed off to sleep, and that was it. But I was like, 2:00, you decide that's enough. But then, do you know what she did actually the few days prior to that? Could have been the Friday night. I think that was Sunday night, and I think it was Friday night that she did the same thing again, where it was 1:30 by the time I got back to bed. She slept until... Do you want to guess what time she slept until the following morning? Guess.
7:00.
Later.
7:45.
Later.
I feel like I'm pushing my luck even guessing. I'm going to go 7:30.
Later.
Yes! Did you get to 9:00?
Muireann, she didn't wake up until 11:15.
Oh, yes!
11.
And did she go to sleep at the same time then? So what was that? That was Saturday. Did she go to sleep at the same time Saturday evening?
That was Thursday night into Friday morning.
Oh, yeah.
She did go to sleep at the same time I was actually on the road, so she didn't have her daytime nap, which she should have. She fought it.
Okay.
Didn't have her daytime nap, and then she did go to bed at the normal time then that evening.
Oh,
But like 11:15, I text John a picture of her still snoozing in bed, and I was like, she is your daughter through and through. So when she did it again yesterday, like when she woke up then, and she was out for the count, I said to Paigey, I says, go on, go down to the room and wake up Bree. This is
yeah.
about 9:15. I was like, wake her up now. And she goes down, and it's so, so cute. Mar, she goes down and oh my God, she opened up the way, she opened up the curtains. She's like, hello, my darling girl. I didn't realize, but that's what I say when I go in. I pull back the curtains and I'm like, good morning, my darling girl.
Oh my God, the cute.
I could see this happen on the camera, and it was just so cute. But they were just like loving on each other. Paige hops into the crib with her, you see, and just loves it. It is very, very cute, I have to say. But yeah, that was her up partying until 2 a.m. Now, she was good last night. There wasn't peep out of her. So hopefully it's just a little kind of a phase that she's going through. But mother of God, I was like, I wasn't fit. I hit a wall yesterday at about 4. And then I pushed through. And as soon as they kind of went to bed, I was like, I can't even do it. I did a few things on my phone work-wise. And then I was like, I can't even think about opening the laptop. So I was like, no, that's getting close.
No.
But,
and you know what? You're dead right. Because sometimes, like when you're that tired, and I'll get the guilt, I'll be like, right, I just have like X, Y, or Z to do, and I'm just going to do them. And I think I have them done. Like I'll go through my checklist and I'll be like, yeah, that's grand. And then I'll get sleep and I'll check them again the following day and I'll be like, Muireann, that's awful.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
It's not worth it. You end up doing it twice. No, you end up doing it twice.
You're dead right. Yeah. Absolutely dead right.
And I did do that to myself. I did have the mindfulness to go, no, enough's enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, enough about me. Jesus Christ, I've been rabbiting on for about half an hour. What? How was your week?
Week was grand. It was grand. Nothing hugely major. I took Shane to his first sales in Goffs. Book 1 sales. It's like a different world. It's just like a different world, basically. Like I said to Shane, I love the sales. I love being at the sales. I love being around the sales. I love watching the horses. I love watching the people. I'm very comfortable in a sales, but I'd love to have somebody else's checkbook while I'm there, just for the crack, just to see like an open-ended check. And I'd love to see what type of a horse I could buy. But that was very interesting because Shane hadn't been there before, he was looking at things with completely fresh eyes. So things that I'd be taking for granted, he was asking really intriguing questions about and kind of making me think twice about things that, you know yourself, that you just take as a given. Like, so that was very interesting. And then
was the quality of sale good, and could you see where the horses that went for the big money, why they went for the big money? Because that's sometimes what I'm like, what?
Some of them, I'm not going to lie, some of them yes and some of them no. There was a couple of them that I had actually marked and wanted to go back through the breeding because it was colossal money for what I could see in front of me. So the only conclusion that I could come to was that it had a cracking page, and that's what they were going from. There was one particularly beautiful little, of course, typical Muireann, little chestnut filly. And she was, if I had my magic wand, she would have been in the car with me coming home. She was stunningly, little bit of a divil, bit of a flick of the tail, had a little bit of attitude, but really well put together. Gorgeous, like for such a young horse, her, like everything was there, and everything was there to be built on. Now she went to 134 and they didn't take it. So I'd love to know what if she'd go back in again, or if she was sold out of the ring. But this is what I mean, Sarah. Like the money was colossal. Like I actually said to Shane coming out in the car, I said, I'm going to bring you to another sales, like a non-thoroughbred sales. and I'm going to show you a little bit of reality, because that
I
there
know the
is
difference. Yeah.
monopoly,
Isn't
like
it crazy?
that. It's colossal, and it really made me think. I'm halfway through writing an article about it. It really made me think. So I met this unbelievable woman, right? Dawn and Bernie were there, and they're like two amazing women, but they introduced us to some cracking people, like really, really good people. But there was a lady, I think the interview is on Shane's phone, actually. I must ask him to put it up. She's a trainer, and she has she's from the Czech Republic, but she was leading lady rider in Italy. She now trains between England and Dubai. She was amazing, absolutely amazing. And she was there to buy some horses to bring them back to Dubai for the winter to train. So, of course, me being me, I was like, what do you look for in a horse now? Well, yeah, but even her answers were so different to the way that I would look at things, or the way that I would have been taught to look at things. So it was
Yeah.
really intriguing to, like, she goes a lot on their eye, and how their attitude, more so than how they're built or what their page is. Or so it was lovely to hear the
Yeah.
kind of the
Yeah.
differences. And we had a right chat about how different some of the horses are. Like, if the difference in the type of horse that you would need to be able to train them in England compared to training them in Dubai. And
Very
she had,
interesting. Yeah.
it was really interesting. She had 3 horses in Dubai last year, and 2 of them were consistent winners for the season. And that's some goal, in fairness to her.
Yeah.
But no, she was brilliant. I must get on to Shane about that. But the rest of the week was rugby filled. Claire, the lucky devil, I wasn't half jealous at all, was in Barcelona watching the Nations Cup show jumping. So I was down giving it in the yard while she was away. She had an unbelievable time, and came home with a saddle. I'm looking forward to seeing that one now tomorrow. But yeah, so we were in and out of the yard, and actually we had a very proud day for Carlow Rugby Club. Wouldn't be like me to be calling out the women at all. So we had our first match for our reformed ladies team. They were playing De La Salle Palmerstown, and we reckon it's the guts of about 20 years since it was a standalone Carlow team, that it wasn't included with the college here in Carlow or with another club. So the women went out and won, which was absolutely amazing. But all the crack, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry, or I got so nervous I was shaking. I was like, everybody just come home. Nobody get injured. This is all for fun.
Yeah.
No, it's not, Muireann. It is. This is fun. I didn't expect myself. I didn't expect myself to get nervous for them, and I also didn't expect myself to get a bit emotional. I was so proud of them, and they've worked so hard, like incredibly hard, to get that team back up and running. They've pre-trained all summer. They never miss train. Like, they're a cracking bunch of women. So it was unreal to see them out on Sunday.
That's amazing.
It was no, that was particularly lovely, now I have to say. And that was kind of it. She was tipping away, lunging lots of horses, telling myself the weather was kind of it. Speaking of that, I have a funny one for you, right?
Yeah, go.
So, I had my Pivo camera in the yard the other day, right? Because I'm trying to make this really badly, I have to say. I'm trying to make this day in the life of Muireann vlog thing, and it's really not going very well, I'm not going to lie. I get about halfway through my day, I forget, then sometimes I remember. So it might actually be like a combination of like 10
4
days.
days.
Yeah. But that's going to be how it is. So when I looked back on the camera, I have like 4 or 5 set sayings that I keep saying when I'm lunching, right? And I am so glad that nobody can hear me in the arena. Like, so glad.
I am dying to see this vlog.
Oh, like, it will be funny now. I have to say, it will be fun.
Can we publish it on Equitas? On Equitas YouTube. Please.
It is. So, I have an awful habit of calling them all Gruffalos. Like, I don't know why, but when I'm starting them off, I'm like, go on now, you Gruffalo. And oh, they go out, right? I'm like, this, my brain, I would love to know, right? So then we have one horse at the minute and he's a little bit weak and he's building up. And I keep going, oh, whoops the daisies. Oh, whoops the oh, again now, good man. You'll get it now this time. Whoops the daisies. And you know what I must have said about 4 times when I was lunging him? Like, I genuinely think people must think I'm just mad. If you don't lift your legs now, you will fall over. Go on again now. Like, what?
It's mad. It's mad, isn't it? Like as I said, when I was doing the intro before you kind of came in, I was trying to say to people, what are the funny things that we say to our horses? Like, I can't say that I was expecting you to come out with any of those. Like when I thought about it, right, I didn't really have a huge amount to say. Like nothing really to kind of contribute. Like, cause I tend to kind of like talk to them, and I just say to Zara, you know, like for example, I'm like, hey Zara, like lift up, and she just lift up her leg, and I'm like, and the other one, and the other one, and the other one, and so she knows that, like that kind of sequence. And I could probably say it to her from across the yard, and she'd still like lift her leg, and the other one, and the other one.
I love that.
And like the other one is like, you know, the way like if they have a stretch or if you're giving them a scratch, you're like, oh, like you can't not say, oh, big stretch, or you know, like, like if you don't say those things, like I think you're a serial killer. I do believe that's probably
you just lost it. Like that's just how it is. Well, I genuinely don't know. So out of curiosity, I'm going to set up the pivot again because I'm in the yard again tomorrow. So I'm going to set up the pivot tomorrow, and I'm going to actually count how many times I say, oh, whoopsie daisies, because I have about, oh, I don't know, there's a few of them to lunch tomorrow anyway. So
can you do that edit on the vlog where like you do the count every time you say it? It goes, the clicker goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and see what you end up at. I love that. Yeah.
Actually do that. I ask Claire someday, like, was this a constant thing? Like, I knew, obviously I knew I said whoops to daisies because Shane slags me all the time about saying that. He's like, I don't know where we got you from. And what's the other one he slags me about? Oh, bless his cotton socks. If something goes wrong, right, or if somebody does something a little bit silly, I have an awful habit of just going, oh, bless the cotton socks. And Shane will rip the absolute, like, he just thinks it's the funniest thing ever. So I wonder actually when I say that with the horses. I have to keep an eye on what I'm saying tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't even think about it. Now I do have, like, it's a good job Claire knows me very well actually. I do have an awful habit of chatting to the horses. Like if Claire goes up the yard, she'll come back down, but she'll come in and I'll be with her in a way.
Yeah.
Aren't you great? The world is one.
No, I really like that. And I remember before I was hacking, he's my old guy now, he's about 27, 28 now, but remember hacking him alone one time, and I think we were hacking back from somewhere, so I was a bit like, you know, wasn't in our own kind of environment, whatever, and I remember literally chatting to him the whole way home. It must have been an hour, and it was a full-scale conversation. Like, he got all of my problems that day, and I think if anybody heard us, it would have been so funny, like,
just,
you know, this kid and our horse.
You can just vent, and it just like it just all comes out. I love it. Out of curiosity, and maybe even from like a coaching point of view, do you ever sing when you write?
I used to.
I'm away.
And it. Oh, sorry.
No, Max is trying.
I used to, and I was told that I needed to focus. This is when I was younger now. I was told that I needed to focus.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, part of me agrees. Do you know what I mean? That if you're looking to do something, you know, you shouldn't really be thinking of a song. But I also believe that if you're nervous, or if you are just wanting a chill time, it's a great way to regulate your breathing and introduce a rhythm, which can help relax. So that's why I tend to kind of say, to different people.
Yeah, I suppose it's whatever way it calms different people in different ways. So I completely unintentionally. Now it does help me, I have to say. This is with my random fear of show jumping. When I go in to do a show jumping course, right? Now this could be like 70s. Like this doesn't have to be big. This is just my
Yeah.
random brain. I will start to sing It's Just Another Lemon Tree, but I only know about 4 lines of the song. So all the videos of me show jumping, you can see me and hear me singing It's Just Another Lemon Tree as I
Okay,
jump.
sorry, Emma, you're going to have to give us a few bars of that now. You're going to have to give us a few bars. You cannot. You cannot.
No more Negronis for that one there.
But like, I mean, you're doing it in public anyway.
Oh, it's just another lemon tree. Do you remember that one? No, I'm way too young for that one, Sarah. Oh no.
No, I do know it. I just need to come and say it.
That's literally, I know that and about 3 other lines, and then I'm out. But it's like constant loop repeat.
Well, but that's
in my
what
head.
gives you the rhythm, and that's what gives you the relaxation in your brain to be able to breathe and pull it off. Then yeah,
Nice
you do you.
settled. That is it. And like some of them are so funny. I must try and route out some of the videos. Where was I? Oh, I always get these confused now. Is it Jer O'Brien's that's at the back of Foreign Hill Equestrian in Kilkenny? Isn't Jer O'Neill the one with the stallions? And Jer O'Brien, I think it's Jer O'Brien's. Anyway, we went down. I think now I always get them confused, but I think it was Jer O'Brien's. Went down with Annabelle one day and a couple of friends, and the Divils. I didn't realize they had clipped a mic to the inside of my coat when they were helping me do it up. But sure, I didn't know it was there all the way around. Oh, this is great. Oh, look, here's another one now, Annabelle. It's just another lemon tree. Like,
I'm definitely always one, even in a dressage test, I'm always talking to the horse. Always talking to them.
And do you talk
so much so. Yeah, I do, yeah. Now I've had to kind of curb it a little bit when you start going up the level, they start frowning upon it. But the lower levels, I'm like, I don't care. If you want to mark me down, I am talking to my horse. And it's funny, like I think it's such a good aid, and it's so funny because I used to ride when I was riding for Muireann and Kate.
Yeah.
They had a 5-year-old mare who was lovely mare, but a little on the sharp side. Okay. You know what I mean? Like you just had to kind of just have your wits about you when you were on her, or sat up on her first more so than anything else. And so I did her first few shows as a 5-year-old before. I think did Maureen take her for a few shows then, and then Kate was campaigning her. So but for her first few shows, like obviously she was like on her toes, really kind of nervous, but really holding it together. You know what I mean? Was so brave, was such a brave mare, but was, you know, a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
And I spoke to her the whole way around, and Maureen, I finished it one time, and Maureen said, I was just laughing at you. She was like, you just never stop talking to her. And I was like, well, no, I wanted her to chill out. Like, I was like, I want her to stay around my inside leg. And I wanted her to relax into my outside rein. I was like, but I remember her laughing. And probably only when she said it to me did I realize just how much, do you know what I mean? I actually spoke. But you know, there's a part of it too that is, especially when you're on a young horse or a breaker or anything like that, that I find talking myself through a tricky situation helps to keep your cool. So like if you feel them getting nervous, I kind of coach myself through it out loud,
100%.
which definitely helps. Do you know what I mean? Which is kind of something that I don't do intentionally, but it definitely helps. So I don't know who's more nervous, me or the horse going around.
I don't have to ask that question. Jeez, Theo doesn't even he wouldn't even know he was out somewhere. God love him. He's actually, do you know what, Sarah? He's the funniest horse. He's out, when you come out my back door now, he used to be in the field right beside it, but now he's kind of in the next one down, say, but he can see up to the back door. Yeah. I gave him the awful habit, completely my own fault, and just because he's such a baby, he used to come up to the back door in the mornings, and he could literally, if he put his head out far enough, his nose could come to my back door. And I used to give him an apple in the mornings, And now when I open the back door to go out in the morning, he comes galloping up. I'm like, one of these days he's going to actually jump that hedge. He's just
Oh
going to
my
jump out
God.
for the apple. So now I have to go down to him in the morning. But it's a nice way of making sure he's all okay, and it's wonderful, and he's still good. He's out with cattle and he is
Yeah.
destroyed. He's giving me an ick looking at him. But he's coming
Oh
in now
God.
next week because I want to start doing a little bit with him, and I
Yeah.
want to rig him up and get him good to go. Now, very minimal. I'm just going to keep him ticking over for the winter. Purely, actually, if I'm realistic, it's not even for Theo, it's for me. I
I
am
hear
missing
you.
my riding.
I
So
hear
it's
you.
just for my
Yeah.
own house. Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon I'm going to be taking all mine. So I have nearly all of mine out right now,
Mhm.
just while I can, while the weather is still somewhat feasible as
Yeah.
I listen to the rain teeming
But
down.
yeah.
But I figured leave them all out for as long as I can, and then when it starts to get bad, bring them all back in, rather than kind of splitting the
Yes,
yard
yeah.
between home, like between my house and the yard.
Yeah.
I just said, look, let them all go out, enjoy the last of whatever time they can get out, and then come in for the winter then, and we'll crack on. But yeah, it's kind of more for me that I'm dying to get them in. But I'm laughing here because Louise is in. She says, my mum says I talk to my mare too much. I think that's funny. I wonder what your mare says. Louise, knowing your mare, she might agree, would she? And then Pauline is in. She was like, I give a running commentary. It's hilarious to listen to. That
I want
actually,
to
the
hear that.
running commentaries, I find them so funny. Like, I
Funny.
think everybody should do more. I think
Yeah.
everybody should do more of those. I think it's brilliant. And then yeah, Louise is back in saying talking and singing help you to keep breathing. So it's great if your horse is tense. So yeah, like what I said earlier on, it's great
Yeah.
for breathing and getting a bit of a rhythm, and both of which help with relaxation. So yeah, it's
I
interesting.
love,
Um,
I love those videos.
we wanted to quickly, because I'm like looking at the clock here, we are just
Oh, what?
rabbiting on, but I wanted to
Okay.
quickly run through the audience
Yeah.
questions. Now I'd have to go back and check who this from. I think her name was Aoife, but I'd have to just go back and check.
Yeah.
She has asked, what is your idea of a perfect day? What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because I have about 3 perfect days, depending on my
Okay.
mood. But I think, do you know what I love, right? If I could have, say, the perfect Sunday, right? Or even maybe perfect a weekend day. I love when myself and Fiona Park are here for breakfast because we don't get to do it during the week, really. Like you would, but
Yeah.
you're always rushing and there's stuff going on. So I love when we can, like Park will go out, he'll feed the cattle, he'll do the jobs. Myself and Fiona will make a big feed. We'll sit down, we have the chats, bit of banter, bit of crack. And then if I could go off to like a charity ride or even go hacking or do something with horses. The lads will generally go out and be working down the yard or be doing whatever that has to be done for the day. And then come home, get changed, go for dinner and have a glass of wine and just chill out. And that is my lovely
That
day. I
sounds
love days like that.
that sounds pretty epic. Like for me. So here was my day today,
Mm-hmm.
which I am very happy about.
Yeah.
So let's say take Saturday for example, because I actually put up an Instagram post about it.
Yeah.
That was, I got to go down to the yard for an hour or so by myself, and I was like literally walked in going, oh my God, I had to like unlock the gate, and because the horses are in the corral at the yard, they're not waiting for me to get there. They have their hay and they're just munching on them. So I was in no pressure to get down, but I got down by myself anyway. It was just heaven. It really was. And because the yard is so quiet now anyway, like there's not even anyone on it. So
Yeah.
it was just magic. But today, for example, so because I was up kind of during the night or whatever, John let me sleep on, and then when I got up, he had porridge done. So we all sat down, had porridge, and then he went off to work. I managed to get a few things done around the house this morning, and then myself and the girls went outside. It was about 9:30, and we went outside to feed the horses. So I put hay out to all the horses, gave them the bucket to feed, and the girls were rogue. Like the girls were off heading up to the site where we're going to build the stables, and I could obviously still see them, but I was like, Paige, you're not allowed to go past that point. I can't see you past that point. And like Brie, bless her, she got that much mud on her shoes that she nearly couldn't lift her feet, and she was kind of like wedged to the floor. So she didn't last too long without giving out to me. But it was just lovely. They were with me. They were, enjoying it. And even though it was raining, because it was lashing rain at that time, it was still a bit of crack. And they were mucky dirty coming back in. We sat on the swings then. The swings were obviously soaking wet, didn't matter. And then I came in, got them dried off, gave them snacks, whatever, and got ready to bring Paige to preschool. I managed to keep her awake on the way over, and then she went in, not a bother, loves her preschool. It's like a farm, so it's, again, they do a lot of stuff outdoors, which is great. And then Brie, I didn't get home before Brie fell asleep.
Okay.
But I did manage to lift her from the car and put her into her bed without her waking up. So I was like, right, deadly, that's a win. I managed to get a couple of hours work done while she slept. Then she got up, gave her a snack, went over to get Paige. Then we went and got horse feed. And the girls were with me in the shop, and then they were getting feed loading into the car. Then we went down to the yard to check on the horses down at the yard, check on the field horses, give them hay, pack hay, and we were just put about the yard for an hour or so, and it was just brilliant. And the weather had picked up, it was lovely. Came home, John was just in the door, he started on dinner. The girls watched a little bit of TV for about a half an hour, and then we had dinner, back outside, back onto the swings, back having the crack, fed the horses again, and then kind of went in and started getting the girls ready for bed. So now, was it perfect? As in, did we have tantrums? Yes, we did. Did we have moments where I was like, I need a coffee? Yes, I did. But it was just one of those things where it felt that nice balance for me of being productive and yet being relaxed. I wasn't running around like a headless chicken. I wasn't stressed. I wasn't, everything just kind of was like, yeah, we're just getting through it and we're just rolling with the punches kind of a job. Do you know what I mean? So for me, in sense of, and then I'm obviously on chatting this evening and still getting being productive and getting that feeling of that social side of it, because I haven't spoken to another soul all day. But it's that. So apart from your weekend kind of real chill, where you get to just kind of really have put your feet up and have some downtime, today was probably a pretty perfect, typical but perfectly normal day for me. Do you know what I mean? That went particularly well, I have to say. Not every day is so smooth, don't get me wrong.
But the girls enjoy being down the yard. Is it getting that?
Getting better. They're getting better. I kind of regret not doing more with them during the summer. Okay. It was easy to get out and do other things during the summer because Emma was in the yard looking after the place. So I didn't have to go down to the yard, whereas now I kind of do. And so they're having to come with me. And I probably wish I had done more during the summer with them. Okay. Because even after the few days of the consistency of we're going down to the yard, this is what we're doing, they're so much better. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They know the kind of the routine. So I suppose my advice to anyone who is trying to juggle it all is just do it. Even if it doesn't go well the first time, do it again. You know what I mean? It definitely.
Stay doing it.
I could really,
yeah. Do you know what? When Fionn was small, kind of 3 or 4, I still had Annabelle over in Neve and Kieran's, and Dinky Toys were my saviour. My absolute saviour. Yeah. We were lucky enough to have a lunge pen, and now I know this is not for everybody, guys, right? I'm just putting it out there, but this is what worked for us at the time. So when I used to lunge Annabelle first, so when I was lunging, he used to have his little Dinky Toys in the arena. And he'd sit in the arena, I could see him obviously, and he'd sit in the arena and he'd make little trackways, and then we would swap over. So when I came out to the arena, I would lock him in the lunge pen and he could be in there, I could watch him and I could ride. Yeah. Now, as I said, it is not for everybody. It was the system that worked for us and we did it well. Now I did, when he was about 7 or 8, I got a rather mad phone call from the school because he used to come to the yard with me in the evenings and he was struggling a little bit with his maths at the time. So I used to have him counting out scoops of feed and counting out supplements, putting in the supplements.
Yeah.
So, and he used to sit on a feed box and do some of his homework while I was finishing up the art. And didn't he tell his teacher that he couldn't do it because he needed the feed and the scoop to count out his maths homework?
I'm sorry, but I'm struggling to see what the problem is with that.
Oh, I got scolded. I was told we should be at home being able to sit down at the table to do his homework efficiently. No,
Wow.
I'm sorry, but this is how we rock.
No,
This
that's one of the
is
things that I'm actually, and I've gotten a little bit of feedback from Paige already, all
okay.
relatively good, but like an odd kind of a, just to let you know about this or just to let you know about that. And I'm like, it's going to be hard getting,
Yeah.
feedback from somebody else on your child. Like everything that we've done so far, all the toddler groups, all the play things that we've done, I've been there, I've seen everything. Do you know what I mean? But now you're kind of getting like almost a report. I'm like, oh God. But it's mad. Aoife, was Shane's coming in with a warning sign. It wasn't Shane. I personally don't see a problem with that. Eva's attempted to put her in a wheelbarrow and haylage net to get training done after work. Yeah, it would be workable. I remember it was so funny. I said to the kids, so I said to Savina and Dylan, my niece and nephew, and I think I must have been pregnant with Paige. I said, they said, Auntie Sarah, what are you going to do when you have the baby? And I said, what do you mean? And they were like, well, where are you going to put her when you ride? And I was like, well, she should just go in the stable. And they're like, Auntie Sarah, you can't put the baby in the stable. And I was like, well, if it was good enough for Jesus, Jilly, I mean, so I am like literally. I just think that was what and then I was like, and then do you know what? I says, do you know what, Anna? Here's what we're going to do when she needs to be pushed. I says, the walker. The walker's right there.
Have you ever seen
and so, and that, I have seen it now. I have never been brave enough to do it myself. No. I've never been brave enough. Jesus Christ, I just couldn't. But what I did do then was I did turn it on for the two kids. And they went around swinging on the bars of the walker. And I have a video of that somewhere. I'd have to read that out. But yeah, it's so funny.
Oh, Shane.
Yeah. Warning to the teachers, exactly.
I'm laughing at Aoife's response. Teachers are the warnings.
Oh God. Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, let's start. I'm just looking at the clock here. Let's start wrapping up. Our rides and our wrongs of the week. Do you want to go ahead with yours?
I have decided I'm doing 2 rides this week because I am no longer
seeing 2 last week.
What?
I did 2 last week.
Yeah, this is what I'm going with. So this is really, both of them actually are very random. I got into the car today and I forgot I had bought a packet of jellies yesterday and they were in the front of the car and I ate them all and they were delicious and I was delighted with myself. And
sorry, do you just saw that? Do you know what I do sometimes? See, when I go, so I get a few things in Aldi that I don't get anywhere else, right? So like once a month, typically when I'm getting my nails done, it's right beside Aldi. I'll go in, I'll stock up on what I need, right?
Yeah.
But as a little treat for myself, I'll get myself a pack of jellies for the car.
Yes, the car jellies all the way. I love it, Sarah. This is the way of the future. I'm telling you. Stick it out dairy milk in there, Sarah. You'll be sorted. Sarah,
no, my dairy milk is stored in the house. Yeah,
I know. I'm joking on that one. My other one is, now this is quite bizarre. It's bizarre to talk about. I have a really dodgy big toe that was stood on years ago, and anyway, not to go into detail, but it had been very painful lately and it was causing me a bit of grief, and I got it sorted yesterday, and the relief of the pain gone from my big toe put me in cracking form yesterday evening. I was like,
oh my God.
Now, it was very sore getting it done, but like an hour of pain to have, like it was very painful and completely my own doing. Like I should have had it done ages ago and I was putting it off, but now it's done and I'm delighted with myself.
Wow.
Absolutely delighted. So I have a sort
of... probably give you an idea. I remember, did I have something on my thumb and I got an infection under my nail and my thumb, and it was like an abscess, like as in reminded me of an abscess, like a hoof abscess. And I was like, right, I need to get this open, I need to get a poultice, I need to blah blah blah. and the absolute pain in my
Oh,
thumb that was vibrating up my
yeah.
hand until I got that open. And I was like, it just gives you an idea what a horse is going
Oh,
through and the amount of weight that they're carrying
100%.
on
Yeah,
their feet. Like, you know what I mean? It's just
that's
crazy. It's mad.
what I'm saying for.
And well, I'm glad you feel better and your toe is much, much better. What is your wrong of the week? I'm intrigued because it says fridge noises.
I forgot.
I actually wasn't. I wasn't that curious about the big toe. I'm more curious about fridge noises. What does that mean about me?
This is really boring. Like, this is not a funny story at all. We have, we're a big feeder house, right? We have a giant, big American fridge. And in the last 2 weeks, it started making these like weird, creaky fan noises, right?
Oh no.
I'll video and I'll send it to you, Sarah, because it's
Yeah.
very irritating. But I work from my kitchen, so I can hear
Yeah.
them in the background. So I had a fella out and he looked at it and he said, no, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And then I was thinking, oh, have I overstocked it? Is it the fan? I've been Googling, I've been looking at YouTube videos.
That's
Afraid
mad.
it's driving me.
Drive me insane. It's driving me insane. That's crazy. That is mental.
Anyway, that was my fridge noise rant. What are your right and wrongs this week, Sarah?
My ride of the week, and I don't know if I have a wrong of the week, I'll think of one. My ride of the week is, and it might lead on to a slightly bigger discussion for next week, is John arrived home from work on Wednesday, the day of my birthday, with my gift in his car.
Okay.
And what was my gift?
Go on.
An automatic water drinker.
Oh, yes. Do you know what? That's what I got for my birthday last year. Was 2 drinkers for the same outside the yard, and I loved it.
You know what? I'm gonna make this one my ride and wrong of the week, because my ride of the week is obviously it's a water drinker, an automatic water drinker. Hello,
Oh no.
fucking you, yeah, right?
Yeah.
But my wrong part of it is that it's the water drinker that I've been asking them to pick me up all summer. So it's the automatic water drinker that I should have had at the beginning of the summer that was now masked as my birthday gift. I am beggars, cannot be choosers.
No,
I appreciate it. But
there will be no bucket for the summer or for the winter. We'll go with it, Sarah.
Yeah. But that was, I suppose you could probably take that as a right and wrong of the week. So yeah, there's a win and a little bit of a caveat to that. But maybe we should put this out there, because it's something I did want to bring up, was like, what are the weirdest gifts, the best and worst and weirdest gifts that you've ever received? I love hearing the one. Do you know, I love how practical people can be.
Yeah.
I kind of lack that. I lack that kind of imagination. I tend to go with what I think they would want to get.
Yeah, but sometimes that's lovely.
That they probably wouldn't buy themselves. That would probably be my angle of gift buying. I'd be interested to hear everyone else.
I think one of the most random presents we ever got was for our wedding. And my cousin arrived over with a clothesline. You know, one of those kind of hexagonal, like...
Yes. Yeah, they kind of like an umbrella. You launch them.
Exactly. And I remember thinking at the time, this is bizarre. Like, who buys somebody a clothesline as their wedding present? This is really strange. Well, we used it and used it. It came from the house that we rented up to here. We have a put up. It was a cracking present. Absolutely. Yeah. And I would never think of buying somebody a clothesline, to be fair. But it was
it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would have... And I'd like to know how Aoife's fridge moves. My fridge moves. Aoife, you need to tell us more.
Elaborate. On the fridge thing, it was funny actually, because we were in the house the other day and John has an awful habit of going to the freezer, which is in the pantry, and leaving it open. Oh. So then he'll come out of the pantry, he'll close the door, and then a couple minutes later we'll hear the noise of the freezer. He did it one day and I was like, John, the freezer. And because, like, you know, I have good hearing and I can hear like things probably quicker than him. I'm like, John, the freezer, and he's like, all right, okay, goes and gets it. I think my mom came over on and my dad came over, we're sitting there, and the next thing I hear it again, and I'm like, and I just gave him a look. I was like, are you for real? Are you for real? I was like, you open a door, you close it. So I was just like, I wonder, am I being triggered by the noises of my appliances? Stop shouting at me.
Open the gate, you close the gate. You open the door, you close the door, John.
I'm like, he was reared on a farm. He was reared on a farm. So anyway, I laughed. But look, I think we will probably wrap it up there. I'm surprised it hasn't cut us off yet. But anyway, we will relish it.
Yeah.
Relish the freedom. But yeah, I was just saying before you come on, Mar, tomorrow is Baby Loss Awareness Week, and we just wanted to extend our support and our thought to people who might be affected by it, close, or perhaps they themselves have lost a baby. So we have an article going up tomorrow morning, which is on articles.equitas.ie, and you can sign up and get it straight into your mailing box. And it basically just give you an idea as to how you can support and the reason behind there being such a needed and important week, I suppose. So take the time to read it and support, and if anyone is struggling or is looking for any help, then try and be that ear for them, that non-judgmental, just listening and just letting them know that they're not alone. So it's such an important topic. I would love to be in a position where I could kind of talk about it in a little bit more depth, but that's not really appropriate for me and for right now and stuff like that. So I think we'll have a few social media posts going up. So look, just kind of letting everybody know that the conversation is open, and it's a safe space if people want to chat about it. And basically just letting everyone know that we're here and they're not alone. So
just be nice.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. So look, hope everybody has a good week, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, Sarah. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.